What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I have something that's pretty crazy, which is actually getting my first exotic. I feel like real exotic, because the R8 was considered, the V8 R8 was not considered an exotic, and then the i8 was not really considered an exotic. Maybe they're both considered exotic, but they're definitely not supercars. And this is our first supercar. So I cannot wait to show you guys. Let's go ahead, go to the other shop and show you guys my first exotic. I mean supercar. So guys, here she is. Pull up in a Ferrari. Crazy, guys. Got it here at Natty Auto Parts. So you guys saw, this is my first ever Ferrari here at Natty Auto Parts. It looks so good. Honestly, guys, I'm not a huge fan of the California. Never really was. When we got this one in, I don't know if it's a special edition with the diamond stitch blue interior, but it looks absolutely phenomenal. It is a 4-seater. As a family man now, I can see the appeal in a 4-seater supercar. So this thing's pretty sick. This bad boy we got from auction, and it looks like a perfectly good car. You might be asking me, Nour, why are you taking it apart? And the answer to that is, let me show you.
So the crazy thing about this car, guys, it looked like an absolute complete car. I was clicking on the buy it now button and I realized the front suspension was raised a little too high for my liking. As you guys can see by my fist in the car, the suspension's sitting way too high up. Little did we know, this thing was completely missing the drivetrain and has been previously sold before at auction with a complete drivetrain. So somebody purchased this car from Florida auction, pulled the entire flooded drivetrain, sent it back to auction, and we ended up getting this car back. Now the reason I say flooded is because the next part of this thing is absolutely insane. Not only was the drivetrain pulled from this car, but yeah, we found out it was flooded. Check out these seats, guys. The whole carpets, the seat rails, everything is completely rusted out. There's no way to access any of this stuff. It's honestly insane how much damage this car had, but to the surface it looks absolutely beautiful, which means for us at least there's a lot of reusable parts. At least the mechanical and physical stuff, I can safely say that the electrical stuff on this car has been completely written off. But also this car had ceramic brakes, which was a huge plus. Obviously water does not affect it, so that's pretty sick.
So yeah, this thing definitely has a story. The fact that it came from Florida, sold as a complete car, then here sold as a complete car but missing the main heart of the car is a little bit weird. Like, why did it come here? What exactly is the story with this thing? But long story short, we saw it with a buy it now price that we could not resist and was like, you know what, even though we're a BMW parts business, I had to tap into our first supercar because, I mean, it's a Ferrari. End of the day, I think it's super sick to get some Ferrari inventory here, and I don't know if I'm gonna be doing a lot of exotics here, but the end goal is BMWs and higher end cars, so you never know. Now, some of the boys here at the shop are saying, let's go ahead and swap an N54 or something in this car. As you guys can see, this thing it's not just missing the drivetrain, it has some flood damage, and it could be really bad flood damage. We have no idea. The car is cleaned up really well. Somebody did clean it up really well before sending it off to auction. So we don't know if most of the electronics have water damage. You have to remove a lot of things and look at those things. But even then, getting all those electronics to work, Ferrari electronics to work with BMW parts, BMW drivetrain will be an absolute pain in the butt. I have a feeling that getting these driver seats and the passenger seat out and trying to get the top down is going to be a mission in itself, and there's no manuals or anything like that on social media or anywhere on how to work on these kind of cars. In the glove box, which was kind of crazy, there was like hundreds and hundreds of dollars of receipts in there, which are kind of crazy. I'm not hundreds, thousands and thousands of dollars, like little things he was doing. It was like $4 or $5 grand at the Ferrari dealership. So even if you can afford a $90,000 California, which is an entry-level supercar, in my opinion, you know, you still have to have the baller Ferrari income, because to work on these cars are absolutely astronomical. It's crazy. So I'll go ahead and check back with you guys when we actually start taking the car apart and getting some of the value on some of these parts. Let's go ahead and pump the brakes a little bit on the wagon content, and let's try something new and see, was this actually the right decision buying these parts? Are these parts gonna sit for forever? Are these parts even gonna sell? I have no idea. Is a Ferrari California really a car people are rebuilding nowadays? I have no idea, but again, for the money, I feel like we couldn't pass up on. And we'll get into the price of how much we got this thing later in the video once we get everything listed up and seeing how much profit we're actually making on this car, at least potentially. Because the thing is, with eBay and the way this business goes, we can list up everything for, let's say, 50, 60 grand or something like that, but after fees, shipping, taxes, all the other stuff, you know, you don't really know exactly how much you're taking home. But you know, rough numbers, and I'll go ahead and fill you guys in with that stuff. So without further ado, let's just go ahead, get the car in the shop, and start taking it apart. In this video, guys, we're gonna be specialized Ferrari technicians. So guys, a few days later, I actually did not film us taking apart the Ferrari, but long story short, it's been taken apart, and I think we finally got all the parts listed. It literally took us 2.5 weeks of labor time, including, I believe, 4 people on this car. We have even the front end right there and the rear end of the car right there. So we literally took every piece off this car and then also cut the frame right in half and utilized those as well to get our maximum profits out of this car. Now, I have no idea if the parts on this car are going to do well. This is our first time doing an exotic car, and I'm really hoping it does do well, because we did spend a lot of money on it. We just spent a lot of time and manpower on it. So it really is one of those things where we're kind of like just testing the waters with. Obviously, BMWs are our bread and butter, but yeah, just kind of showing you guys a little bit behind the scenes of Natty Auto Parts, not just me building sick wagons. So anyways, let's take you guys inside and see how much of the stuff we got listed so far and see whether or not getting this car was actually worth it. So right now, I can literally just type in Ferrari on our inventory, because I literally have never listed any other Ferrari parts or dismantled any other Ferrari car. But long story short, as you guys can see, we took every single plastic, every single wire, every single interior thing, even the flooded seats, we listed those because some people need the leather, the front frame, which is astronomical right there, even the rear frame, astronomical, just front windshield, $1,000. Now, all these prices are just based off of market, random sales that we're seeing on eBay, and a lot of these parts, there is no set value, so we kind of have to make up our own price, because we don't really have access to the Ferrari parts catalog and how much all of these things actually cost. But long story short, we came down with this number right here, $87,000. Now, if we actually go to orders, we did sell a few things so far on the Ferrari. The first thing is, actually not the first thing, I think the first thing we ever sold was these headlights, which was absolutely insane. Somebody literally bought both of the headlights from us. I'm assuming he bought these to restore his Ferrari California. Usually the clear coat fails on these, and I'm assuming he didn't want to get them rebuilt, or companies didn't want to fix them. So that was a big chunk of our money back, which is absolutely insane. And it was in California. Thankfully, he did receive the package, and hopefully we're not going to have any issues with that order. Right over here as well, we sold a kick pedal, a clock spring, nothing too crazy, and that's all that we've sold so far, and I believe the 2 weeks of getting all these parts listed up. Obviously, I say that's all, but thankfully one of those items was, two of those items was the headlights on this car. So we ended up picking up this car, I believe, for roughly around $18,500, maybe even $19,000 delivered. Now, $19,000 for a car without a drivetrain is absolutely insane. Is $19,000 for a Ferrari insane? I guess we'll find out. A lot of these parts on this car is worth a lot of money. So far, we have not recouped the money that we purchased on the car, nor the amount of labor time we went into dismantling this Ferrari and getting it cleaned up, listed up, and all that stuff, plus the amount of space it's going to take in the shop. But the good news is that we came up with a crazy number of parts listed. So really hoping this works out for us, because if it does, if we can at least sell the majority of the parts and make most of our money back at least, or all of our money back in the next few months, then at that point after that, it's straight profits. But it's one of those cars that we could have just purchased, and we'll probably either barely get our money back, or we'll never get the money back. Because for those of you guys who don't know, in the parts game, there are a lot of parts for cars that just never sell. It just never does, and you end up junking it. So I don't know if people out there are really rebuilding Ferrari Californias, or if the parts that we have are mint enough for people to want to swap out their parts with. So it's a hit or miss. But again, the crazy thing is, for a $20,000 car, we're pretty much 5x it nearly. So that's pretty insane. Jonathan just pulled up. How you doing, bro?
I'm good. You're in my chair.
So, what do you think of the Ferrari parts? Do you think it was a good purchase? Do you think it's something that's going to sit for a while? I know we're typically used to BMWs, but...
I think they're going to sit forever.
Yeah, forever, right?
Eventually, they're going to sell as well. So
at least hoping a good amount of it, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a long-term investment for sure.
For sure. How long did it take us to get all this stuff listed?
2 weeks.
2
Normally,
weeks,
it takes me like 2 days for any old BMW.
But how long did it take for the car to be also dismantled? Was it like a week and a half?
2 weeks.
2 weeks also?
Like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah, so...
It took forever.
That was a lot of manpower. Think about it, 4 guys, right, working on that car? Oof. Oof. So, yeah, either... so, I don't know how to kind of get into the details. I don't want to get into in terms of everyone's pay and how much it actually costs us in terms of manpower, but you guys can only assume 2 weeks worth of time, 4 mans working on this car, kind of insane. But anyways, I just wanted to kind of give you guys a rough estimate on the reality of dismantling cars. One of them being our first exotic, which is kind of crazy. The E91 M3, we're gonna be filming a video on that pretty soon here. Just pretty much wrapping up a few other things, getting a few more parts in the mail so I can get kind of a jam-packed video going for that. And then I'm gonna be diving into the F81 project, which has been long awaited, not gonna lie. Anyways, let me know down below, guys, if you guys like seeing videos like this of us actually picking up cars and trying to make a profit on it, whether that's in parts or just flipping it. Let me know down below if that's something you guys enjoy watching, as well as the wagon content and the M3 content, or you guys just literally just want me to focus on building sick cars, and that is it. Anyways, guys, without further ado, we are trying to reach our goal by the end of this year. We're pretty much our 5 or 6 goals for the end of this year. So if you guys can help support that, the primary one I believe is going to be the Instagram, 50,000 followers on Instagram. If you guys can shoot me a follow down below, I am literally daily posting the updates on the wagons and everything else that's going on with my life and the shop on my Instagram. It's been, I believe, 16 days in a row, which is an all-time record for your boy. So anyways, if you guys can go ahead and support me there, as soon as we get 50,000 followers, might be getting this thing painted. I say might because the deal with the owner of the shop that's going to be doing it is 100,000, but we might be able to finesse something together if we can get to 50,000 followers on Instagram, which is our goal for 2025. We've already actually killed the goal for 2025 for Natty Auto Parts Instagram. We're sitting at 37,000 followers, so thank you guys so much for that. We're still trying to achieve all these other goals on here, which you guys will be seeing on the outro of this video. But yeah, so far, guys, 1 down, 6 more to go by the end of 2025. Let's go ahead and get it, guys. I love y'all so much. Remember to stay humble. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.
Yeah, let's see how you do under pressure. I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better.